Back. In this session we're going to create a two-color name. From the toolbar on the left hand side we're going to select our text tool, and somewhere on the screen we're going to type in a name. In this case I'll use my own name. Stretch it out so we can see it. Now in the other session we talked about this reference page, this 8.5 by 11 page. I'm going to click off the design and you can see it's 8.5 by 11. I'm just going to select landscape. Then I'm going to select my name. With the P key on my computer, if I select that, it will center the name or the design into the center of the reference page. Now second, what we're going to do is take Arial and change that to Arial Black. Again, P key to center it on my reference page. And if you pick a font that's real close together and you're going to do a two-color, you may want to stretch out the letters a little bit. And you can do that by going up to text and selecting paragraph formatting. And where the character is, let's just increase that and you can see the letters starting to stretch out or current. And again, P will center it onto the reference page. Okay, so I have my one color now. Now we're going to add a second color to it. The first way we're going to do it is go down to our outline tool on the toolbar on the left hand side. And you'll see a little arrow in the lower right hand corner. If I click on that, it'll open up the outline pen box here. I'll go to outline pen and select a width on that for the background. In this case we'll just pick 0.125. Color, we'll pick red's a good contrast color and say OK. Now that doesn't look just right. That's because the red is in front of the black. So we're going to switch things around a little bit. Now this is another tool that we haven't used yet, and that's our zoom tool. So I'm going to select the zoom tool and select a letter here so I can zoom in on it so we can see it real well. Again, it doesn't look very well. That's because the red's in front of the black. So I am going to go back to the outline pen. Select outline pen. And in this box here I can select behind fill, scale with image, say OK. And it switches things around. So the red's behind the black now. Now another tool that we haven't used yet, that is our zoom levels. If you go up here, now right now it's at 547%. We're going to go back to just to page so we can see the whole page. Now if you're working on a design and you want to do it full screen, you would select to fit and it'll put it on the full screen. In this case we're going to go back and just use to page. So now I've got my two-color design, but most of the things I create is all for cutting with a vinyl cutter. And a vinyl cutter, what it does is follow line design. And if you look at this design, even though it's a two-color, and we go up to View, and do Wireframe, you only see one layer here. So the cutter is only going to cut one layer, even though it's a two-color design. So go back to View and Enhance. So for cutting, this is not very good. So I am going to use another tool that we haven't used yet, and that's our undo tool. That's that arrow right there. So if I click on that, it just did everything I created so far. So the second, that was option number one. So option number two, we are going to create a two-color. Again, we're going to use the toolbar on the left-hand side. Now I'm going to use this tool right here, the interactive contour tool. And again, if I click on that black arrow in the lower right hand side, it opens up all the different tools in this particular toolbox. And you got your blend, contour, distort, envelope. And we're going to go through all these different ones at a different time, but today we're going to use the contour tool. And I also mentioned that our property bar up here will change depending on whatever tool you pick. So if I'm picking the contour tool, you can see the property bar just changed up here. So the settings I'm going to use today, and this is, I can choose either go to center with the second color, inside or outside. So we're going to select outside, one step, which means I get one more color. If it was a 3-color job, I could add 2 steps in there. This is the size. I can change that to whatever I wish. And this is going to be the color. It's going to be red. So I'm going to go to the outside. And that'll give me my second color. Go back to my pick tool. And I have a 2-color job. Now the important part on this one is, as long as I have lines, I can use it for my cutting. So let's go back to view, wireframe. And as you can see, now I've got 2 sets of lines. One for the foreground and one for the background. That's what I've been looking for. Let's go back to view and enhance. Now even though I made it a 2-color job, I can still change this. I can still edit the text on that. And let's go back and let's go edit some text. So I know it's Arial Black because I picked that. We're in Miver, so we're just going to change this to Monday. Center on the reference page. So now I got a 2-color, so I can still edit the text even though I've added another color to it. Now I'm going to go back to my undo button, go back to my original, and there's my original. Okay, that was option 2. So option 1 on the toolbar on the left. Option 1 was the outline pen. Option 2 was the interactive contour tool. And there's one more way I want to show you. Everybody has their own preference, but this is just another way. Is go up to Window in my menu bar, click on Window, and there's an option here. It's called Dockers. If I go to Dockers, it opens up another menu, and I go to select Contour, and that opens up a Dockers into my screen here. Again, the same options. I can go to center, inside, or outside. I can give it whatever size I wish, however many colors I want, and hit apply. And again, if you notice the property bar up here, I chose red. And this looks pretty much the same as the one on the toolbars over here. So I don't need my Dockers anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. I've got my 2-color job. I'm going to go back up to view. Make sure I got 2 sets of lines, the foreground and the background, which I do. Hit enhance, and now I'm ready to send it over to my cutter. So I showed you 3 different ways of doing a 2-color job. Again, with the outline pen, interactive contour tool, and through Dockers, and use the contour, open up a Docker. So 3 different ways. I would suggest just playing with it. See what works best for you, and we'll see you in another session.